Hey, welcome back to week 4 of this remote learning experience. I think that means we're halfway through, maybe. So hang in there. Just an update on the Coates family. I threw a couple pictures up here. You can see we built a little birdhouse. I've been trying to feed the robins and cardinals and finches and swallows. I don't know. And so that's happening. And then the middle picture yesterday, we made it to the creek because it's actually above 50 degrees. The weather's been terrible. But the in the creek, they caught 3 snakes, a salamander, and a toad. And we made it home safely with a salamander. It made the perilous journey. And so you can see him in the corner. I think it's Sally, the salamander. So if you're keeping track at home, we've got a dog, a puppy that's just turning 1, turtle that's 6, salamander, and a handful of fish that I can't keep track of. So that's what's going on here. And then I just put a picture of the book up that I finished reading for the Mason High School Book Club. It's called Golden State. It was kind of fun. It's a dystopia where they reimagine California as a state where it's illegal to not tell the truth. And so it sounds good, but like in all dystopias, it creates tons of conflicts. And it was pretty fast and fun. So I just thought I would drop that here for you to see. The discussion boards last week were a lot of fun. I appreciate your work on those. Just kind of wrapping up our reading from Unit 2. And there were some really good ones. I've made a note to myself so I don't forget. But like I thought Bossy Pants in Bell 6 was really good. The 10 Arguments one in Bell 4 was great. The Outliers groups and Every Bell were really excellent. I don't know if that's because those people like their book better. If they're better people, it's hard to say. The Power and Black Dahlia groups were pretty good too. And then I just wanted to point out that all of Bell 4, every single person participated. And that's the first task that I've had where an entire Bell jumped in. So I appreciate that. The discussion board grades are in there. If you don't know why you got what you did, look back at the directions. Some people only posted and never replied. Some people posted once. And so if you didn't follow the directions, you might not have gotten as sophisticated on that particular task. But if you have questions about it, just let me know. Also double check the directions and see what you did there. Okay. Next, this week, just a quick overview. We're going to continue with our independent reading. And I'm just making a note here to you that is not the same as your Unit 2 book, which a lot of you put that on the Google form, which makes me think you didn't read the directions at all for what we're doing. And that makes me a little bit sad. So you should be picking either reading the news or a new book. Last week was the first week of it. This is the second week of it. Next week will be a third full week of it. So that's 3 full weeks of independent reading that we're working on. Okay. Carve out that 15 minutes a day. This is a great chance to really build that habit. And so I hope that you take advantage of it. We're also going to move into some poetry work. I'm going to do a teaching on Tuesday. We're going to explore a couple of issues, and then we'll post towards the end of the week. So there's not a big writing piece this week. It's going to be more along the lines of the discussion boards, but a little bit different in that you'll make a series of smaller posts that will kind of add up to your thinking for the week. The plans document has a lot more detailed directions. You can link to that video explanations there as well. And then I've added a daily grid. If it helps you, I've noticed some other teachers, and we're talking this week, who are adding kind of like, here's some things you should do on Monday. Here's how you might break up the assignments over the course of the week. And so that's on there if you're a person that likes that kind of structure. Okay. And then last, we are going to relaunch Table Wars this week. And so I'm excited about that. The Q3 winners you can see up here from last quarter, and it should say that in your speaking and listening grade now. It should say Q3 Table Wars champions, something along those lines, something very boastful. So the way we're going to do it now, since we can't kind of have groups get up and present and critique and have fun discussion in that way, we're going to do some different challenges. So this week, the first one is live event attendance. So if you attend a chat, I'll throw a point to your team. If you attend the live teaching on Tuesday, I'll throw a point to your team. And so every time somebody from your team shows up to a live event, that's points this week. I've also put an independent reading challenge out there. It is on the plans document, and it says it asks you to find some poetic devices in your independent reading, and it's a reading task in itself. So you need to follow the directions to earn the points on the independent reading challenge. So that is there. And a small incentive: the winning team this quarter will be exempt from the writing challenge that we do in May. And I actually covered up my last little note here, but I threw 2 points to each person who posted in the Pet Padlet this past week. That was a challenge that I had thrown out there, and there's a bunch of great pictures of people's dogs and cats and puppies and fat cats and all kinds of things. So I appreciate that. I miss you guys. Hope you're hanging in there. If you've got questions or problems, reach out to me, and we'll knock some work out this week.